It is hard to say which is worse, the death of a 5-year-old girl near Silver City, the horrific conditions in which she died, or the fact that family, teachers, and police all tried to help her with calls to the state's Children, Youth, and Families Department.
There were 5 different investigations into the family over the course of 2 years. But another lawsuit filed today against the state accuses workers of lying on reports, ignoring abuse and neglect claims, and just taking the word of 2 drug-addicted parents.
That's why you popped in like too fast.
This is Zachy Bynum, her grandma says, with her life ahead of her.
I got you, baby, come on.
But it would end here, on the floor of a filthy shack with no running water or heat near Silver City in March of 2024.
How old is your sister?
Just turned 5 yesterday.
She just turned 5?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she deserved much better. And the way she died is so horrific. I can't imagine what she went through.
An autopsy revealed she died of carbon monoxide poisoning, a result of coal burned inside the tiny home for heat. She tested positive for meth. Her 7-year-old brother survived and also tested positive for meth.
I think that we have a real failure in leadership at the highest levels. That's how we got here.
Attorney Sarah Krucka has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against CYFD and its workers in this case. It alleges Zachy died as a direct result of CYFD's incompetence. Rewind 2 years before the death, 2022. CYFD's first investigation that went nowhere. A Grant County Sheriff's deputy found Zachy's brother, who was 5 at the time, lying in the back of a truck in a store parking lot with no supervision. A CYFD caseworker is called in and tracks down his parents, Music Adame and Matthew Bynum. First at a motel where the general manager told her they left the room filled with ankle-high trash and had to deep clean the room several times. Despite knowing that, according to the lawsuit, the caseworker didn't check inside the trailer the family was now staying in to make sure it was safe. Instead, attorneys say the caseworker just took the word of the parents, who also lied about no longer having drug or domestic violence issues. It states the caseworker knew the boy wasn't enrolled in school. But attorneys say CYFD told Adame to just rely on family or friends if she needed help with the children. Investigation closed. August 2023, a second investigation, also a failure, according to the lawsuit. This time, Silver City police call CYFD saying Adame had the 2 kids in the car with no seatbelts or car seats. He reports the kids hadn't bathed in a while and the car smelled horrific. Another CYFD caseworker is called in and writes a report saying he had a face-to-face meeting with Adame at her mother's home. Attorneys say that's just not true. Adame later told CYFD she's living with her mother, and the caseworker believes her lie. And once again, no one checks to see how the kids are living. Investigation closed.
The integrity of each and every investigation is so critical, because when there's no integrity in the first investigation, then by the 4th, you're relying on 3 other investigations where facts were left out, the home, nobody laid eyes on the home.
The allegations against CYFD go on and on. November 2023, the lawsuit laid out 3rd and 4th failed investigations, including a family member reporting the kids didn't have a toilet and couldn't bathe. The lawsuit states CYFD didn't check. School staff reports to CYFD they have serious abuse and neglect concerns, saying the kids come to school so dirty they have to clean them up. They claim the mother shows up with bruises. Again, the state does not visit the home. A CYFD supervisor states in a report there are no drug or domestic violence issues with the family, and the parents have provided a safe and stable home the past year. A month later, another school employee calls CYFD again, saying the boy showed up with a black eye, and kids make fun of him because of his poor hygiene. Attorneys say, finally, CYFD visits the home. The caseworker would tell the family to clean their home, but never checked whether they did. 2 more investigations closed. declaring the abuse and neglect allegations unsubstantiated.
The one worker that actually bothered to step foot in the home identified issues with the heater and no running water. And that by itself is not a reason to take a child in. It's together with the bruises on the child, the concerns from the school, the parents having different stories that don't match each other.
January 2024, a fifth investigation. A person from the kids' school called CYFD saying they're worried about the kids not having running water, that Adami told her several times that Bynum beats her, and Zaki had more than 19 absences during the past 4 months. It would take a month before CYFD did anything. The caseworker writes the parents wouldn't talk to her. So again, another case closed, finding the allegations unsubstantiated without going to the home and checking on the family.
Did they do this, poor girl?
2 weeks later, deputies find Zaki dead. Krecka says how all of this was handled violates New Mexico law and CYFD policy.
The number one priority of that department is protecting children and improving their well-being. That is not what is occurring in the state of New Mexico.
Zaki's death happening 23 days after that news conference promising change.
We need something dramatically different, not just some tweaks here and there. We need something dramatically different from CYFD in order to rely on them to protect our children when we call them. As a community, I want to know when I call and I witness something that it's being taken seriously. We should all be able to do that.
The lawsuit states the entire staff at CYFD in Silver City was fired, but it's not known if it was because of this case. CYFD and the governor would not answer our questions, saying due to pending litigation on this case, it would be premature to comment. The children's biggest advocate is their grandmother, who also begged for help from the state. After the death, CYFD placed Zaki's brother in her care. But CYFD was making plans to place the boy back with his parents, who were charged with intentional abuse of a child resulting in death. When the grandmother raised concerns, the state sent her this letter saying they were taking him away from her because she spoke out. That alleged retaliation is also part of the lawsuit.